Hello, this is my evidence number 2, an inside-out take on corruption. Well, we all understand that corruption is a problem that is persistent not only in Mexico but all of Latin America. We also know by the definition of Fishman and Golden that it consists of a cycle that it will not end until it's broken, and its consequences are definitely involved with the social well-being, the economy, and most importantly, the social trust in the public institutions that should protect them. In fact, I would consider this to be one of the most impactful and harmful problems of corruption in the Mexican society, distrust. In fact, there is a various polls that indicates that 76% of Mexicans distrust the police, and only 11% of all Mexicans trust that the political parties in charge of the government have an integrity and are transparent completely. As we've learned in this course, there's a lot of institutions, groups of people that are trying to make things better in Mexico. But I think that we as individuals have the power and the ability to start combating corruption on a daily basis right now. When asked about ways we can combat corruption, constitutional lawyers, politicians, and even philosophers agree that there are two main ways: before and after the fact. After the fact, as its name says, is the punishments we give to the people who have taken part in corruption, and before the fact is even more interesting for us and for my proposition afterwards, which is to in some ways educate ourselves before the fact to stop believing that corruption is unnecessary and even a conditioned part of our society. The importance of fighting corruption before it happens is supported in Schalk Fortress' article Fighting Corruption, a Philosophical Approach, in which he says, "Whilst anti-corruption measures are important and should continually be improved, the only effective way to combat corruption is by a long-term program aimed at moral renewal of our entire population." This is complemented by Frances Nunz's take on corruption, in which he says that after living all of these years under a corrupt system, we have been accustomed to believing that a lot of corrupt behaviors in politics, business, and even social life are things that always have been or are the necessary evil to succeed in this life. Now, based on all of that, here's my proposal to you. While I don't expect you to instantly join an anti-corruption group or even donating to them or changing the laws, sociology tells us that there is a chance for us as individuals to take part in the fight against corruption or any social problem from our daily life basis, and it all comes out of our communication and observation abilities as people. Now, here's the idea. Make a group in any social media with your friends, any friend that is interested in the fight against corruption, and tell them there is only one rule. You have to contribute at least once per week with a comment about corruption you perceived in your life. It can be anything in the news, it can be a conversation you had, or even something you saw. And I think that this will help because by making the conversation go on and noticing ideas that everyone shares, you will start to learn and see some things that normally you wouldn't. And by making so, you start to adjust your behavior so that you avoid these situations in your life. And ideally, this also affects your inner circle, your family, your other friends. And by being more conscious of the problem, you start to combat it in better ways. So that's my idea, and I hope you like the video. Thanks.